Welcome to the Phoenix Prosperity Podcast, where wealth meets legacy. Join your host, Tim Fergestad, as we explore the journeys of Phoenix's finest to success and beyond.
All right. Hello, this is Tim Fergestad. Thank you for joining us. Today I'm joined by Dr. Eric Buensuceso, Arizona optometrist, writer, and humor advocate on using laughter to improve healthcare, business, and everyday connection. Welcome to the show, Eric.
Glad to be here, Tim.
Excellent. So I'm excited because I like comedy. And so you've managed, and you do as well, and you've managed to work that into your industry. First, why don't you give everyone sort of your background in eye care and healthcare and how you got started there, and then we'll or maybe unless we need to go back further and
I'll give you the short I guess story of it. My mom was an optometrist.
Okay.
In the Philippines. Came here. I wasn't born here. I came here when I was like 9 or 10 years old.
Okay.
And I went to Rutgers College.
Okay.
And I wanted to be a physician, much like your wife. And, I really researched it. And even back then, without the internet, they said that, HMOs are going to take over and all the things that are happening. And I said, I don't want that. Then I worked at the hospital at the ER for about 2 years while I was in undergrad.
Oh, wow.
And I said, I really don't want this. So
okay.
My mother suggested, well, why don't you go to optometry school? And I said, okay. That's what happened. I went to Pennsylvania College of Optometry in Philly. Now it's Salus University.
Okay.
And graduated in 1994. And
there's
just
there's only a
route.
few. Okay, interesting. There's only a few major optometry schools, right? There's one in Chicago. There's one in...
No, there was only, I think, 17 optometry schools in the 90s, and now it mushroomed to, I don't know, like 50 plus.
Okay.
I mean, California itself has got 2.
Okay.
So yeah, it's all over the place, including, of course, Midwestern here in Phoenix.
Right. Okay. Interesting. So, I shadowed when I was younger. I didn't do it work in the ED though. That sounds apparently it was exciting yet scary. You didn't want to do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like my personality and everything, it's like, oh my God, I'm in charge of a life.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, like, 18, 19, 20-year-old, it's like, that's a lot. That's heavy.
Yeah, it is. It's not for everybody. I shadowed an optometrist when I was in about 17, 18, and I was really interested in it. I went to school. I was a physics and chemistry major, and I just loved optics and all that stuff. I did scientific research as an undergrad and with the lasers and semiconductors and stuff. And I got to play with all that. So I got to scratch that itch a little bit before I got into biology. But it's super cool stuff. So you started. So you went to after optometry school. Then what? Then where were you and how did you...
I went the normal route. I started working as an optometrist. Didn't have a lot of hobbies. It's kind of funny. It took me about 5 years, much like everybody else, like in when you go to a graduate, school. It's like, I think I should be doing something.
Did you
not
go
just
to work
going
for
to
a
work,
big box
coming back.
Right away?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Worked for, everybody, basically, LensCrafters, Pearl. I mean, then my mom worked in New York City, so I worked there with her.
Okay.
So, she got to see the fruits of her labor, I guess.
She was running her own practice?
Actually, no. She was working for somebody, but she ran the whole contact lens department. So I was there like maybe one day a week, and she was just watching me. How your kids, you got kids yourself, you still think of them as little kids, and now they're up and they're working with patients, and you're kind of amazed, so she got to see that. Then she loaned me out to her friends. I don't know if she got a kickback. I also mentioned that in one of my videos because, I was fast. I mean, I kind of grew up around that area. She's been in the same office for darn near 40 years. So I grew up there as well. So I knew everybody. I knew kind of like what commercial optometry was like.
Right.
And so, I did that for a while, and then I when I got here about 20 years ago, and I said I want to do something different. So I got into mobile eye care. Loved that. Did a lot of nursing homes. I had at some point 50 nursing homes that I was taking care of, and assisted living facilities.
Okay.
Then,
Well, that's a big. Where was that? Was that in Arizona?
all over. I was like I said, I was mobile, so I was driving about 3,000 miles a month from different places. Like I'd be in Sedona one day, Yuma the next day.
But it was Arizona.
But I loved
right?
it.
Okay.
Because I just got here and I got to see, everything. I got to see all the cities
Right.
because, I was pretty much all over the place.
Okay. Okay. And how long did you do that for, and why did you stop? Was you saw enough of the state? Was it too much time in the car?
Well, I mean, in order to see nursing homes, you have to be part of a lot of insurances, Medicare access. And one of my big insurances basically changed and gave it to just one entity. So everybody got
right.
kicked out. So that was pretty much the end of nursing homes. But I was so into it. I loved, fooling around with all the mobile equipment, the technical side of it. I built a mobile unit by myself and with the help of my dad, who was an engineer. And
cool.
I would just roll that thing into so I can do bed to bed. I really liked it.
Wow.
And then, I fell into prisons because it was basically the same concept, because they can't get out, or it would be very, very risky and very costly for the prisons to get out to like nursing homes. And so I went into prisons, and that was a blast too, because it was like, wow. I don't know. I'm kind of a weird guy, I guess, because I kind of like all those off the beaten path type of things.
Well, there's a lot of great stories in there, for sure.
Oh yeah, that's part of like I said, a lot of my jokes are based on my experiences at the prison.
Okay. And when did you start writing jokes?
Oh, okay. So, like I said, I got divorced around 2018 or so.
Okay.
All of a sudden, I don't know, from anywhere, I got this crazy idea about like, well, why don't I try stand-up comedy? So, without anything, I just went there, and I'm not going to just go up there. That's really scary. So I went to so many comedy clubs in the Valley, and I was just sitting there in the audience and watching them do it.
Okay.
And I just said, oh my God, And I remember going up there, it's kind of like deer in headlights. I didn't even know what I was saying. I was just like, saw this big light, and somehow I got through it just out of consistently saying the jokes over and over again, and I got through it.
Okay. Were you a fan of comedy before that, or?
Pretty much like everybody else,
Okay.
I love
Just
my
occasionally?
favorites,
Okay.
but not really. Like I said, all of a sudden I got this flash of inspiration,
Okay.
and I was hooked. So I got through like, okay, how do I do a joke? What's the construction of the joke? And
Right.
I was just researching online, and I found Jerry Corley. I don't know if you know him, but he's one of the people. He's called the Joke Doctor.
Okay.
So he teaches people the minutia, or the mechanism of a joke.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's a lot of where my understanding for how to construct a joke came from.
Okay. Excellent. Let's back us up a second. You said you had your favorites. Who were your influences? Who were some of your favorite comedians?
Oh, Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, he's class. He followed like a structured joke for sure.
Yeah, but he was king of the one-liners.
Yeah.
And he was my personal favorite because he didn't start until he was like 44, in his 40s.
Okay.
He was a siding, like a siding salesman, aluminum siding.
Really? Okay.
And he's one of my favorites mainly because he started late.
Okay.
And while he was doing that, he was just writing jokes, and somehow he got his break, and the rest is history.
Some of the best
Robin Williams
comedians
too. I mean, same
pivoted,
thing.
right? Yeah. Who is the one? It's kind of Dangerfield era. Sam Kinison, right?
Oh my God,
He was a he was
Sam
a he was a he
Kinison.
was a preacher, right? He was a
Yeah.
before he turned to comedy.
Oh, but he's an absolute unique. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, he was like the first rock star of comedy. All the drugs and the booze
the
and
long
everything
hair
else,
and the
but
yeah,
I mean, he had his own unique style. I mean, you can't help but when he yells, you just have to laugh.
right. Okay, okay. What surprised you most about writing jokes?
What surprised me the
Yeah,
most?
yeah, but
That it
yeah.
was
I mean,
doable. I mean, like, I mean, a lot of you think to yourself, it's like, well, you either got it or you don't.
okay,
Um, you have to be, funny. You have to have a personality just like that. And I just found no. I mean, it's much like everything else. I mean, you won't be, every time you go up on stage, you're not gonna just get everybody into a hilarious laugh.
right,
But
right,
there's a formula to it, and there's different types like satire and surprise and all of that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of mechanisms that go into a joke, and then on top of that, going up on stage and mastering timing,
hmm
crowd, talking to the crowd. I mean, it's fascinating to me. I mean, it's just
the the um the emotions, the facial expressions that people can make as well, or
yeah.
some of
I
those are
mean,
gold, and
I
voices and
learned
everything.
like the most terrible thing is silence. When you deliver a joke and just crickets. And you never know what's going to land and what's not. I mean, in your mind, it's like, oh, this is going to kill. And then
Right.
you go up on stage and it's like,
Yeah, you don't know that. Well, even the best comedians, right? They just try little bits here and there, and they go to little small clubs and try things out, and
yeah,
keep refining and keep refining, and
yeah,
it
it's a skill set. It really
mhm.
is. I mean, and the best thing you can do is just be consistent. I mean, you get your ego hurt, of course. I mean, sometimes you get booze, sometimes you get silence, and you just gotta keep on doing it because
Right.
you just love the game.
Yep. Yep. It's about getting in the reps and practicing. Keep
Yeah,
practicing.
it's a skill set. So you just keep practicing, you just keep persisting.
When did you realize you could first use humor to in healthcare?
Well, that's an interesting question. So I've had practices, and the reps would come in, and they would just pitch their product, whether it be software or hardware or something.
Mhm.
And I mean, my most favorite ones are the ones that made me laugh.
Okay.
They didn't just say, like straight out, this is the benefits and all of the features and all that. I mean, they just took the time to make me laugh, and they were memorable, and I remember
Yeah.
that. And there's not much of it. I mean, in the medical field in general, I mean, they're selling literally hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars of equipment. So,
Mhm.
I guess they feel that, and so it's kind of hard to be lighthearted and jovial.
Well, it's
And I thought
relationship
about that.
based as well. You
Hmm?
want to connect with it's relationship based. You want to connect with the person, right?
Yeah, but I found the easiest way to connect with somebody, I mean, it basically, I mean, much like everybody else, when you see a salesman come at you, your defenses go up.
Right.
And so, I really have to admire them. It's a tough job. I mean, plus the travel,
For sure.
but
For sure.
um, some of the biggest successes that I've seen in my 30 years is the ones that, just come in with just a line or someone that's lighthearted. And that really struck me when I was thinking about it. And when I was going through, I guess, my journey of learning how to be on stage and learning how to write jokes, and I said to myself, I'm just too old for traveling and stuff like that. How could I really worked hard to learn how to construct a joke, how do I combine my knowledge of optometry or eye care plus jokes and plus, of course, copywriting into something that actually is valuable?
That I don't
And
have to
so
stay
I
up
started
till 2 in the morning
the
at a
channel
club
just to
doing-
kind of a lab, just to see what I can do.
Okay.
Because jokes are also subjective. Some people are going to laugh, some people aren't.
New question related. Do you use that in your patient interactions? Do you bring humor into the office?
When appropriate.
Okay, but it's
It
not
all
like
depends. I mean,
the whack. It's not like uh, by design, right? It's not a jovial
no,
clinic.
it's more, I built my first practice just on being relatable and lighthearted and just listening to patients.
Right.
But in terms of a joke, not really. It's not usually appropriate unless,
I would only imagine
I've
for like kids or something, because you want to be professional with adults.
funny
generally.
faces sometimes, but in my space now, I'm just dealing with mainly adults, so it's more like being approachable, being able to listen, being open, a little bit lighthearted, like I said, brings them a little bit down when they're a little guarded. But patient interaction, not really. I mean, I may tell a joke, here and there, just to make them laugh a little bit, but it's not a usual occurrence.
Okay. Well, but before we get into the writing in the YouTube channel and stuff like that, I think I have to say what's like one of your favorite jokes. Then you got like a prison. You mentioned the prison stories. Yeah.
Yeah. So I worked at the prisons for 7 years, and I can remember the first day I was at the warden's office doing my orientation when he came up to me and was kind of concerned. He said, Eric, this prison is tough. The inmates will yell at you. They'll call you names. They'll even threaten your life. Are you ready for that? And I said, yeah, I've been married before.
Yeah.
So clean joke.
Yep. Okay. Excellent. Well, so you started a YouTube channel. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, like I said, I was figuring out how I can combine knowledge that I have into one thing. And so I'm producing eye care related information in a more funny way. And it's still a work in process. I've seen all the others. They do a great job in terms of explaining, say, what macular degeneration is and glasses against contacts. But what I'd like to do is do it in a more funny way. So that's what I've been doing for about the past year. This June was my 1-year anniversry when it comes to that.
Okay, so you're set up the channel yourself. You're doing your own recordings and editing and writing.
Yeah, I'm a one-man band. It takes a lot of time.
Okay. And who's your target audience? Who are you trying to provide value for?
Basically, anyone who is curious about things that maybe they were experiencing, like floating spots. Like everything else. I mean, if I want to learn how to replace my cabin air filter and engine filter, I go to YouTube and somebody's going to show me. Well, when somebody has spots and they can't figure out why do I see spots, maybe they'll click onto my one of my videos and I can explain it, but kind of a more funny way, while still delivering the information.
Right. Okay. Not too dry. Give it a little color.
Yeah, that's the opposite of what I'm trying to do.
So on that note, I do get floaters once in a while.
Yeah. It's my most successful video.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of people are wondering why. They're wondering if they're having a stroke.
Yeah, why do I see floating spots?
Okay. I wonder in a professional environment like that if it might undermine trust or anything like that.
Well, that's why, like I said, I've been an optometrist for 30 years, and you really have to know your patient. You got to kind of feel them out. I don't do it that often. I'm more lighthearted so that they can, it all depends on what I'm reading from them. If they're a little guarded and I have to
Or
ask them
anxious,
about,
right?
or anxious or stressed or something like that, I try to be lighthearted so they can come out of my exam room kind of feeling better, or heard. Um, a lot of it is really just feeling them out, having, kind of a positive, lighthearted affect to you so that they can feel comfortable and we can get through the eye exam.
Okay. Okay. So switching gears here a little bit, Eric. So, what's one of the bigger challenges you've had to overcome in your career?
The biggest challenges. Well, actually, to be honest with you, it's really the business aspect of running a practice.
Okay.
Like we discussed before, when you're in school, they teach us everything except for the practical stuff.
Right.
And, how to handle staff, hiring and firing, when you have your own, if the roof leak, it's on you.
Yep.
And when you go through the doctorate track, you're much of your youth is basically getting good grades in school, sacrificing basically your teens, your early 20s into going to school and studying hard, but not really going out and going through like the practical aspects of life. You do that after you graduate. So you're
Right.
kind of like, this is just my opinion, of course, but you kind of have to catch up with everybody else when it comes to that.
I think so. You're a little
when
behind on the game, and not just knowledge, but in time too, right? The sacrifices you made financially, you have student loan debt,
a
and
lot of sacrifice.
a lot of people are making money out of school, and you're still in school. You're digging a bigger hole.
Yeah, especially these days.
Right.
When I was in school, when I graduated, I think my student loans were about $110,000 back in the 90s. I have a friend who graduated like 6 years ago, and she has a $300,000 loan.
Oh, that's brutal.
And I think that's pretty much par for the course.
Yeah. Any advice for people thinking about that sort of trade-off in this day and age?
Well, to be honest with you, I think, this is just me, but you got to love what you're doing. You just have to.
A lot of people I know, whether it's COVID or just the healthcare changing and burnout and stuff, but it's such a long journey that you're a different person by the time you actually have been practicing for a few years. Finally, what you wanted to do when you were in high school and undergraduate, and you go and you apply to, optometry school, and then you train, then you learn, you set up your own business, and you get it running, and then you're like, you don't know if you're going to like it or not until like 15 years later, and you're a different person.
Well, ethnically, like that old cliche with Asian parents, you have to be a doctor or I got that, a little bit of that pressure there. I guess people, Asians in their 90s have a little bit of pressure because organic chem, PChem, all of that, we were all like Asians, Indians, different Asians. We were all there just because our parents were like putting the pressure on us.
That's funny. One of my friends in grad school is Pakistani, and he said, he said it was either a doctor, a lawyer, or a cab driver. He said those were his choices.
Or a 7-Eleven guy, I guess.
Okay, so transitioning into sort of future stuff, do you have any other sort of goals that you besides growing the YouTube channel?
Well, I guess because I've gone through optometry for 30 years, I'd really like to concentrate now on what I love. And, again, going back to school, you were just so concentrated in getting through school. And then after that, getting your own practice and starting, businesses and stuff like that, or practices actually. I'm at a point in my life where I just want to do what I love. Yeah, you have to pay the bills and all that. That's true. But it's kind of like you're kind of discovering yourself. I never thought I would write jokes. I mean, oh my God, if my 20-year-old self heard me doing that, they'd think I was crazy. But
Right.
it's kind of like a journey. You find yourself, you get reacquainted with what you love, what you don't love, because
Right.
when you're in your youth, or in my youth, I was not allowed to have that because I was so concentrated in getting through school and succeeding in my practice and in my profession.
Right.
I mean, much like everybody else, I guess.
Right. Well, kudos, Eric, for taking on a new challenge, right, and continuing to grow, and
Yeah.
taking control of your of your time, really, right? Because a lot of people, they got the golden handcuffs. They're stuck in the practice, and they can't branch out and do those sorts of things.
Well, I mean, much like you, I mean, you're doing what you love. I
Mhm.
mean, my wife, who's a veterinarian, uh, she writes children's books. I
Okay,
mean,
cool.
you get to a certain point, I guess, when you say, is this all there is?
Right.
I mean, you might have loved your profession, but as you go through years and decades, like I said before, nobody's a one-dimensional character, and then you kind of look out for more, and then you find what you love eventually.
Yep. Okay. So do you still have you said a practice or two here in the valley?
No, actually, I just have a job. Um,
Okay.
like I said, it pays the bills, but really more concentrating on just pumping out a video once a week. That grind for
Okay.
YouTube.
Okay. And what is your YouTube channel?
Dr. Eric, funny eye guy.
Okay, we'll put a link in the show notes for that so people can find it. And it on the note, we sort of been talking about legacy and success and stuff. What do you wish you would have known sooner about success early in your career?
Let me see here. I think more than anything else that I've learned looking back, it's, I mean, ethnic values aside, um, you have to really look at your life, and you have to think for yourself about what you want to do. You have to set a plan for yourself, what it's going to be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. And you have to allow yourself to go outside of your surroundings and see what's in front of you, and kind of imagine, what you'd like to do, kind of dare to imagine what you might like and pursue that despite what's in front of you, whether it be obligation, family obligations, whatever, and just really see, because, in the end, you can't take it with you.
Right. Take a moment and dream. Don't just react and keep going on.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got a talent, everybody's got interests, and you just have to pursue that interest to make you feel whole.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, Dr. Buensuceso, if people would like to connect with you and learn more, where can they go? What should they do? We already talked about the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I mean, if you'd like, just my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm just at the beginning. I've been a year, and I haven't really done a website or anything else. I've just been so preoccupied with keeping up with the schedule.
Okay.
And, so I'll expand as time goes by. But right now, watch videos, comment, and just ask questions.
Okay. And you're also on LinkedIn.
Yes, as well.
All right. All right. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening and watching. Thank you very much, Dr. Eric Buensuceso. Is that right?
Yeah.
Good success. All right. I love it. Okay. Well, we appreciate you sharing your story, and wish you all the laughs and luck. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Tim.
Inspired by our guests? Visit PhoenixProsperityPodcast.com/guest and join us on the show and share your success story with Tim. The spotlight awaits.